The signal for a return to nature. Matushin, looking back at his work, said in 1922, "I was the first to give the signal for a return to nature, something that left-wing movements cannot do, new in art, transfixed and putrefied by the West." As far as he went from the representation of the object and from direct figuration, his canvases and his watercolors have always kept a living bond with nature. His non-objectivity is full of color and forms resulting from the observation of nature. Matushin did not copy the forms of nature. He aspired to follow the methods of their creation. Nature tells us, "Don't imitate me by representing me. Create by yourself. Learn to create like me." Matushin developed the concepts of amplified vision in painting, which would be embodied in his watercolors of the 1920s and 1930s. Impressionists and pointillists have studied the efficiency of complementary colors applied separately on the canvas. The vibrancy and purity of their paintings have revolutionized the world of painting. Malevich introduced two non-colors onto the palette of painters, black and white. Matushin's school also brought its contribution to the pictorial system. Two colors gave birth to a third, as research has demonstrated. Matushin named this color color adherence, appearing between the chromatic middle and the fundamental color. Moving like a figure of Bach, replacing one on another, colors shade and enrich each other. In 1932, the outcome of this research was published in his book, The Color Handbook. The department supervised by Matushin studied not only the interaction between colors and form, but also color and sound. As a young artist, Matushin had already attempted transmitting sound through color. He displayed two paintings, Ring the Chimes and The Red Chimes, in the last exhibition of the Union of Youth 1913 to 1914, in which he tried to give a visual image of what can be heard. The last of these canvases was exhibited at the Salon d'Automne in Paris in 1914, then disappeared somewhere in France. Many painters from Leningrad were training in the department supervised by Matushin at the INKHUK, including the two elder Ender brothers, Nikolai Kostrov, Evgenia Magaril, Valida Delacroix, Olga Vaulina, and many others. Matushin truly appreciated the Ender family's talent. Boris Ender, for example, would become a great master and deserves more interest from scholars. Regarding Ender, Matushin wrote, "Boris has a lot of talent. A large field of possibilities is open to him in painting." Many works by Maria and Boris Ender belonging to the George Kostakis collection were discovered in the West and exhibited in various countries. They revealed to the Western public a new facet of the Russian avant-garde, illustrating a third way in non-objective art, different from the abstract expressionism of Kandinsky and from the hypergeometricification of Malevich. Matutin's school combined non-objectivity with natural qualities and values. The new truth, observed Matutin, is non-objective objective. The objects do not disappear from the field of vision, they are just transfigured. The influence of the pictorial principles of Matutin went a lot further than the studios of the school and is still perceptible in St. Petersburg. The end of the INKHUK. For many influential painters in Leningrad, the INKHUK was a true professional school. Many artists attended the school as scholarship students and art practitioners, with departments headed by Malevich and Matutin, including Nikolai Suedin and Shashnik, Leporskaya and Konstantin Rождественский, Yuri Vasnetsov and Kurdov, Sterligov and Magoril, Yermolaeva, Nikolai Kostrov, Boris, Maria and Ksenia Ender. This remarkable research institute and creative center ended as tragically as the Bauhaus. The Institute of Artistic Culture raised a strong objection among the members of the Association of Artists of Revolutionary Russia, aka HRR. In 1924 Malevich wrote, "The left wing saw in the AKHR a new movement of the red itinerants." The opposition shown by the AKHR to non-objective art is quite surprising. We are not adversaries because our ways are too different. The painters of the AKHR describe life and paint events. The left-wing painters are the creators of this life and participate in revolutionary events. You cannot create, then describe to yourself what you create. The INKHUK organized a retrospective on its premises during the summer of 1926. The AKHR was becoming more of a political force. On 10th June 1926, an article by the critic Grigory Sery was published in Leningradskaya Pravda entitled "A Monastery Supported by the State." This article was written as a political denunciation. Under the umbrella of a state administration is sheltered a monastery in which the few inhabitants, feeble-minded, make perhaps unconsciously open counter-revolutionary propaganda, fooling our Soviet learned organizations. Then came one after another examinations and commissions in which great specialists were asked to testify about the value of the research undertaken by the Institute. Its fate was sealed. Speaking on the 16th June at the General Assembly of the members of the Institute, Malevich declared that "perhaps we won't have the possibility of holding these assemblies anymore, because tomorrow there will be a commission that could put an end to the cultural activity of the INKHUK, an activity that could be highly profitable for the study of art." And that is what happened. The institute was closed, though this appeared insufficient in the eyes of Malevich's advisories, who wanted to get rid of him permanently. After having met Malevich at the Russian Museum for the anniversary exhibition of 1932, Filonov wrote down the conversation he had with him. Then he started complaining about his fate and said he had spent around 3 months in prison and had been interrogated. The judge asked him, "What pseudonyms are you talking about? What cubism are you talking about? The AKHRR wanted to destroy me completely. They said, 'Destroy Malevich and all the formalism will disappear.' But they haven't destroyed me. I have stayed alive. It's not that easy to exterminate Malevich."